Bonjour, bonjour. In this video, we are going to learn how to do like simple questions in French. So this is very important topic because if you're able to ask question, you will go a long way with your French. That is very important. So these simple questions are essential for communicating in French. By mastering those three forms, you'll be able to ask questions suitable for various contexts, which is very important. So as you may know, we have like the casual, neutral, and formal context, and it's very important to master that. So the first question you may ask, like, what is a simple question? A simple question is a direct way to ask something in French. It is characterized by a straightforward structure. So this is something straightforward, kind of easy, but it's still important to know. So the absence of minimal use of question word. So we don't have a question word here. We don't have like a who, what, where. It's just simple question. Okay. And even for simple question, we still have like different form. And we're gonna see three form. So the maybe the most important one in a French communication is this one. Now French people use this one a lot, if not only. But you will see it depends on the context. Okay. So the rising intonation, spoken language. So also in French we have intonation. A question is asked simply by changing the intonation without altering word order. So you may don't really get what I'm saying here, but let's see some example, then you will understand. So here's the structure. Now you have the subject, the verb, and anything that you want to put after depends on the question. So as you can see, if you see that là, tu viens demain, like you come tomorrow. If you don't put an intonation, that's a statement. That's not a question, right? So that's why like we need the small intonation because we don't have any like a question word. That like nothing except that you see the question mark if you read it, but what about spoken French? So that's very important. So now you have to put the small intonation. So I repeat like normal, like a statement. Tu viens demain. So it's very flat. But if you want to make it a question, say tu viens demain? Can you hear the difference? Tu viens demain? Tu viens demain? And you put a small intonation on it. And that is very important to do that. So if you understand that, you will go a long way, as I said before, because French people use that all the time, all the time, all the time. Okay? So now the second one, là, il est content, that will be a statement. But if you want to make it a question, il est content? See? Il est content. So you get a rising tone. Ah, on part à quelle heure? On part à quelle heure? Very important. So this is pure French communication. If you understand that, that's awesome. So now let's go to a more casual, neutral language. So we have the est-ce que. So est-ce que is for like a yes or no question. Simple as that. For example, if I say like I said before, a statement like tu aimes le café, like you like coffee. Est-ce que tu aimes le café? Do you like coffee? So if you want to say the form we saw before, like tu aimes le café, est-ce que tu aimes le café? It's a bit more neutral. Et tu aimes le café? That's with the intonation, okay? So est-ce que is very important if you want to ask just a simple yes or no question. So if we took the example that we had before, est-ce que tu viens demain? Est-ce qu'il est content? Est-ce qu'on part bientôt? This is a bit more neutral speaking. You can use it, but as I say, like most of the time, French people they're gonna use like the rising tone more than this one. But if your goal it is to speak properly a neutral language, this one is fine. We understand, and it's also correct. You will sound like a native even if you do that. And then the last one, which is more formal, and we're gonna see that at the end. That is actually more for the writing. We don't really speak like this, but some people do. So you have to inverse the subject and the verb. So as you can see now we have verb tiret subject. Viens-tu demain? Tiret it means that small thing here. Okay. So you remember. Tu viens demain? Est-ce que tu viens demain? Viens-tu demain? So now this is very formal. Like people don't speak like this. But when you write, we tend to write like this. So when you write, it has to be like another language. It has to be very formal. And this is very important. Okay, so est-il content? Partons-nous maintenant? I hope you understand that. So there's like few things to remember, like three key points to remember. So inversion is mostly used in writing or very formal context. As I was telling you, when we write, we're gonna use the inversion. The interrogative sentence always start with a capital letter, as you can see, and always finish with a question mark. So don't forget that. And by the way, in French, we have a small space between the last letter of the last word. There is a space, and then there is the question mark. Okay, very important. And lastly, est-ce que is ideal for clear and formal communication. As I say, if you want to speak a proper French, that is the way. But French people, unfortunately, they don't really use that as I said, tu viens demain? They're gonna rise the tone. The intonation will be more important for French people. So now you have it. I hope it was helpful. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask me. I'll be happy to help you and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.